what's going on, everybody? Welcome. It is, golly, it's already Thursday. Week is flying by. Yeah, man, we got a little bit to talk about. We got an exhibition game to discuss just a little bit. We heard Cal. What would I say? We heard he took to Twitter today to talk about it a little confusion, I guess, on what they're doing tomorrow with KU. So we'll bring that up and talk about it. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Ask questions, comment, all that stuff. It's the little guy. Okay, little guy versus YouTube right now. They're not going to push the content, so it's up to you guys. So again, please make sure you the more you interact with the channel, the better, and it goes a long ways. And please feel free to. I'll do my best to answer your questions. I'll just say that much. So, but I do appreciate you guys for being here. I'm starting to get a little decorative. I've got a. Well, that's what I'm going to go trick-or-treating in right there. It's wearing the Tusk Talk hat, the pumpkin pelt. It's got the Tusk Talk hat. I may just leave that one there. I don't know. So, almost the weekend, says Kerper. Yeah, sure is. Lance, what's going on, man? How you doing? Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed that Courtney Mims interview. That was awesome. Again, that's another tons there. She talks about Mike Irwin a little bit. She interacts with chat, a little testy in the chat, just a little bit, but I thought she was awesome. She's, and I mean, chat got a little testy. She handled it like a pro because that's what she does. So yeah, go back and watch it. She talks about Pittman's future, kind of what she thinks is on the line. And we will discuss that, I'm sure, here. That is every time we go live. I'm sorry, until I don't know, probably till the end of the year. I mean, depending on how this all plays out, right? I mean, we still got a little ways to go. So, yeah, Mississippi State is Trinity upset pick, but that tells me Hog's going to whoop that ass as Peanut Butter Posse. What's going on, man? What's going on, Peanut Butter Posse? Hope all is well. John, thank you for sharing the Discord. Yeah, we got to get Discord numbers up. We got to get some more people in there. We got to get some more active folks in there. Got to get some folks that that are new, that have never been to Discord, or maybe they already are in a Discord, but they need to give ours a try. Tusk Talk with Ty Discord is pretty fun, and it's not just all hog talk either. By the way, we talk. We got a nerd page. We have an EA College Football 2.5 page, which, by the way, we are going to get another Patreon league going. By the way, I wanted to update that as well. So I do plan on getting that updated. I know Jake Haas, who's not a Razorback fan, he wouldn't be caught dead in here. I wouldn't imagine. He's John Haas's brother. I know he really wants to get that going again. We're going to get EA College Football 2.5 going. We're going to get another league going. I've just been overwhelmed. This time of year is nuts. And listen, I came into the week. I forgot Friday. For whatever reason, I thought the KU scrimmage or the exhibition was next Friday. I don't know what I was thinking. I was way off. I realize this exhibition hasn't been planned out forever, but still, I was a little bit off by a week. So, yeah, but that just goes to show you I'm a little overwhelmed at the moment, trying to get all this stuff going, and again, trying to keep up with Patreon. By the way, the Enemy Insider is up. Not a single reaction to it yet. I don't know if people are just waiting on maybe that's what it is. They're just waiting on my prediction, but it is up. The final verdict is up. Of course, I don't give my score until after today, but I will have that. But the entire write-up is there, along with some of the more detailed information, analytics, stats, all of that. You just got to be a Patreon supporter to get access to it. And yeah, look at that. I already see people liking it. Oh, it's Mac. I see you, Mac. I get it. People are probably waiting on my prediction. But again, it helps when you guys are there. I can't see that. I don't know how many people are actually looking at this stuff. There's no way to track traffic in Discord other than just total Discord interactions. I can't, as far as I know, I can't see how many people are going to that content. So it helps me out when you guys react to it. That way I have an idea, okay, you know what? They're there. They're reading it. That's awesome. So, again, if you are a Patreon supporter, that is up. So some of what I'm going to talk about is in that page, and that's been up since 2 days ago. I was able to kind of finish it off. So, yeah. All right. Shout out to, again, we already talked about Patreon a little bit. Shout out to Patreon supporters. I appreciate you guys, of course. And, of course, the sponsor, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, who offers same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. 501-244-3667. That's the number to get a hold of Direct Service Overhead. A lot of 5-star reviews. Travis and the boys, they do great work. They do awesome work. So, again, if you guys have any questions or comments, please fire away. Sharing is caring. Make sure you're sharing the content across all socials. I don't just say that for the hell of it. I mean it. Sharing is caring, man. It helps out this little channel. I don't have a built-in audience. I've got to grow from the inside out. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's start off first. What is first on our agenda? Arkansas and Kansas. So this is what, just real quick, here's what Cal tweeted. Here's what he tweeted right here. Let me provide some clarity about our Kansas exhibition. This is a real exhibition game. Bill Self and I, kind of funny, Bill Self was almost a coach at Arkansas. Bill Self and I both talked about what our teams need, and we decided on quarters, which will provide more situational opportunities. We are looking forward to an incredible atmosphere in Bud Walton Arena tomorrow night. Can't wait to walk out of the home team's tunnel for the first time. Let's do this. If that doesn't pump you up, I don't know what will. But, yeah, so that's what Bill Self had to say about it. So, I don't know, man. Looking forward to whatever they do tomorrow. We do have to address who's going to be healthy. And so Courtney and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. This is where it gets a little tricky. I don't expect Jonas Adu or Nelly, John L. Davis. I don't think he's going to play. And Adu Thiero. I don't think those three are going to play. So that's 2 forwards and a guard. You're going to be down. And I have it written here. Did not go full speed or take part in contact work during Arkansas's open practices in Hot Springs or Pine Bluff earlier this month. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to play, and that sucks because I really wanted to see all three of these guys play. We could go into their depth chart and kind of flirt around with it a little bit. I have a feeling like we weren't going to see these guys heavily anyways. And again, if they're doing this a quarter by quarter, my guess is they were probably only going to play maybe the first half. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And don't get me wrong. I think it would have been healthy for them to actually get out there on the floor and to play versus KU. But obviously this whole thing's already kind of prearranged. So I wouldn't even get that wrapped up in what the score is. At the moment, I do still plan on doing the post game for that. That could change. I plan on doing it. It is late. I kind of, we were talking about it earlier today in Discord. It is a damn late game. What's up, Drooby Dooby Doo Show? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you being here. Again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. For KU, they've also got some players that probably aren't going to play. Senior center Hunter Dickinson, who re-aggravated a foot injury recently, is questionable. Former Alabama guard Ryland Griffin is listed as doubtful. Mississippi State transfer guard Shaquille Moore, what an addition for KU, who had a foot surgery earlier in September, won't be returning to practice until next week. So they're also, KU's going to be without some players as well. So a part of me is a little bummed out by this because I really wanted to see Hunter Dickinson. I really wanted to see all those guys play for them. Both these teams be healthy and full go. However, you don't want to, listen, if they're even, and Cal's already said this, if they're questionable, they're not going to play. I mean, the writing is on the wall. That sucks because everyone's so hyped for Nelly Davis and for Adu and Thiero. Like, it sucks we're not going to get to see them. However, you're going to get to see, again, like Courtney pointed out, you're going to get to see some of the newer guys. Maybe this will help build chemistry. And listen, I'm going to say this. I have not given an official prediction yet on basketball. I haven't given I was going to wait till next week, going to do I have a pretty good idea of how the conference is. I have a pretty good idea of what's going on with everybody, kind of where I'm at. You guys know I've got Alabama. I just think clearly they're the number one team, returning 3 of their 5 leading scorers from a year ago, the pieces they added. Like there's continuity mixed in with just great talent. Nate Oates is doing it at Alabama. I mean, Alabama needs to Nolan Richardson that guy. In other words, they need to lock him in for a while. Don't need to let him leave. Alabama is not exactly an elite basketball program, and to have someone like Nate Oates who's going to – you talk about building a foundation. Holy hell. Listen, they're probably – I wouldn't be shocked if they're back in the Final Four and if they play for it all. Like I'm pretty high on them. I'm pretty high on KU. Arkansas, I do believe, is probably one of the top 3 rosters. I still believe they were ranked at 16 too low. I felt like they should have been right on the cusp of a top 10, if not a top 10 team. But I get it. All this change. Even though he's a Hall of Fame coach, there is some skepticism on Cal. And guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how long to expect him here. We knew when Musk took the job, it was up until a reputable West Coast job opened up, right? We knew it was not long-term with him. I was hoping you could get 6 years, 7 years out of him. But listen, you'll take the 5, especially with the kind of success that he had. No one saw that coming. I don't think Hunter Yurchek saw that coming either. I don't know what to expect with Cal, but with this roster, yes, he's a Hall of Fame coach. All that stuff matters. I would also add that Kentucky fans are not wrong when they say, yeah, he did great for us. He was fantastic. His recruiting, look at the amount of NBA prospects. Look at the amount of NBA players. I think he has, how many more? Arkansas's got 11. Is it 11 players active in the NBA? And Cal has 72. I mean, obviously that's a bit of an exaggeration. He's got a ton. He's got a ton of players in the NBA. They're grateful for that. Most of them. You get some of the real crazy ones on Twitter and social media. However, they're not wrong when they say, yeah, but since 2020, what has the guy done? How much of that carries over into Arkansas? Is Arkansas just kind of like the early exit? Listen, I'm going to put in a few years. I'm going to go retire somewhere with the kind of money they're paying me, and I'm just going to – I don't think that's the case. I don't think he's taking the job lightly. But you see what I'm saying? Like, is that kind of how we're going to look back on all this? Like, really, was this, has he already peaked as a head coach? Has he already peaked? And Arkansas is just getting kind of I hate to say leftovers. I don't want to be rude and dismissive of him at all. He's a Hall of Fame coach for a reason. But there is some of that lingering around in my mind. You can't deny that Kentucky, he didn't – listen, the last 4 years were not great at Kentucky for him. But you can't also erase what he did before that and what he's done everywhere he's gone. That's the part that, to me, overrides everything. He has had success everywhere he's gone, and now he's got this roster. Yeah, he had some great ones at Kentucky as well, obviously, but man, this is pretty impressive. I mean, there's a mix of new and old. You got back Brazil. You got Nelly, who I might be one of the top picks or one of the top pickups. DJ Wagner, Jonas Adu, Boogie Fland. Again, this list just goes on and on. They are loaded with a good mix of youth and some experience. Trevon Brazile being back, I don't know that we talk enough about that. I really don't. I don't know if we're talking enough about Brazile. Might, hopefully, last year doesn't linger too much on him. He might really flourish if he gets ample amount of time. I am curious moving forward what the starting rotation will look like if it's Nelly, Wagner, Knox, Brazile, and Adu. What do they do with Big Z? God, there's just so many things you could do with this roster. And it is kind of – I don't mean talent-wise. This is the most – I would argue this is the most talent – and Arkansas's had some incredible teams. No doubt about it. Going all the way back to Nolan. Mike Anderson had a couple of really good teams. Nothing like this. Musselman obviously had some damn good teams, or talent, I should say. This is unbelievable. From top to bottom, what they have loaded up, it's incredible. So that's why I believe I think it's a top 3 roster. Some would argue top 2. I got to get Blake Level. I got to get those guys back on over here. But some would argue, once again, Arkansas preseason, like they did last year, different coach, different personnel other than Brazil. Just like last year, this is probably a top 2, top 3 roster in reality. The problem is once the rubber meets the road, is the chemistry there? Are some of the same issues that popped up at Kentucky going to happen here? What's the defense? I mean, how we kind of got spoiled a little bit when we saw a little bit of bad defense with Muss. Everybody freaked out. Because the expectations with that defense were so high. How much of that changes? And will it really matter? Right? Will it really matter? Is this offense, is this going to just be, it doesn't matter. They're going to outscore everybody. They're going to be 86, 87 points a game. Doesn't matter. They're going to outscore everybody. Certainly kind of how the roster lines up, in my opinion. And that's assuming, too, for me, that if Big Z doesn't even pan out. Right? I mean, maybe Brazil reaches that ceiling again for Arkansas. So, yeah, I would – Arkansas for me is I would say they are a top 4, top 3 team for me in the SEC, as far as product on the floor. However, do I believe they can, the schedule, we have to take into account who they play, when they play, where they play, all that. Listen, these exhibition games, you got TCU after this, they're big. And that's why I think it's kind of important that they get those guys healthy, at least for the TCU game. So, yeah. Let's read chat here really quick. Cal philosophy is already starting. What good would it be to let the team build chemistry? I mean, is that a rhetorical? I don't understand that. Like, of course you want him to build chemistry. Rekindled passion, ignited, having his son with him. That's also true. This coaching staff, that is also true. And his son, not the only one. This is going to be a special, maybe not year one. Believe there's a 5-year window with Cal. Why football needs to get with it with Dave Van Horn. I want the Triple Crown, says Camo. Well, I mean, that's easier said than done. So is Coach Cal sticking to his plan to only put 4 on the floor? Yeah, okay. See, you're peanut butter. You're like you're fine, right? Like until Kentucky basketball gets brought up, then I think you get a little rattled, just a little bit. Sutton, good team. So that's true. Sutton did have really good teams. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame. This is 3 Hall of Fame coaches Arkansas's had. 3 Hall of Fame coaches. I don't think Arkansas is a blue blood, but that probably, and that I've thought about making that as a poll. I just don't know how absurd the question is yet. I don't know how absurd the question is. Let's say Cal is here for 5 years. Or here's really how it should be worded. What would it take for Arkansas to become a blue blood? And could Cal do that? Because you ask anyone, Arkansas is not far. I don't think they are. I don't believe that they're far from being considered a blue blood, or who's closer to being a blue blood. What program is closer, Arkansas basketball or Arkansas baseball? That'd be a good one. That's a good poll. But I agree, to be a blue blood though, you do need to win a national title. So I guess baseball, it wouldn't really be. I don't know. Roster is loaded, says Peanut Butter Posse. Yeah, it is. It is loaded. It is going to be about some of the things that, and I know Kentucky fans have brought this up, some of his rotations, some of the things that were going wrong at Kentucky. Let's hope they don't rear their head up again. Hey, again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. I do appreciate y'all for being here. Mr. Kicks, what's up, Ty? How's your day? Not too bad. Not too bad. Is Cal gonna get 3 to 4 freshmen, or do you think he'll grab more? That's a good question. We know we're gonna have Acuff. Yeah, so we're gonna get into that. Let's just go ahead and this is the real fun part. So again, Arkansas KU, SEC Network. What time is that game? It's like 9, right? I know it's late. I already said it. No, it's 8 p.m. Okay, telling y'all, I don't know why this KU game is not sticking in my head. Yeah, so KU charity exhibition sponsored by CareSource, Bud Walton Arena, 8 p.m. on SEC Network. I wouldn't take it too serious. I wonder, and again, the November 1st exhibition against TCU, I wonder who's going to be available for that, because that's not really that. I mean, you're going from the 25th to the 1st. That's not a big separation in time. Well, I guess it is still a couple of weeks, isn't it? Feels like October is kind of slowly moving. And then you start things off with Lipscomb, and you've got Baylor on November 9th, Troy November 13th. All right, let's get into some Cruton. 2025, 6'7", 195-pound, 4-star forward. Sean, I think it's pronounced Abuv. Abuv. I swear to God. I think I can put him up on the screen here. Hold on. Do I have the yeah, here it is. There it is. There he is. 2025 4-star forward he's brought his he's down to his final 5. Auburn, Arizona State, Oregon, Cincy, and Arkansas. Abuv. I swear, I just watched a video where he was doing an interview with this guy, and he said his name, and it's been a minute since I've watched anything on him. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a minute since I've watched anything on him. And then his name popped up because he narrowed down his list. But again, Auburn, Arizona State, Oregon, Cincy, and Arkansas for the 4-star. And it feels weird because I'm seeing people. I had someone send me some screenshots. I always have someone feed me a little bit of whatever they could find, where they could find it. People were complaining about 4-stars. He's not a 5-star. Come on. Hold on. Pump the brakes. We're not winning natties left and right just yet, okay? You've had a couple, and you do have a Hall of Fame coach. I get it. Elite recruiter, arguably the best in the game. But, obviously Cal sees something in this guy. I know his first name is pronounced Sean, even though it's spelled S-H-O-N. I'm pretty sure it's Sean. I don't know. We're not done there. This is the big news. Meleek Thomas has been given. He's been predicted by Derek Young at on3.com to end up at Arkansas. He was also given a crystal ball on Hog Sports or 247. It's looking pretty real that Meleek, that's M-E-L, by the way. I'm pretty sure I've misspelled his name about 15 times. It's M-E-L, not M-A-L, even though it's pronounced Meleek. It's more like Meleek Thomas. He's been given a prediction at on3.com. He's favored, as you can see, at 91.6%. That's a big one right there. That's a big one. That's awesome. That's a good one. When he commits, we'll be live. We'll cover it. I'm gonna react to that immediately. Big time 5-star. And yeah, if these two do commit, they'd be joining Darius Acuff, who's, come on, 6'2", 195-pound, 5-star, another guard, point guard. I think some sites have him at like 6'2". I could be wrong. But yeah, so Hoops is doing what we knew it would do with Cal. All right, don't get it twisted. Muss was fantastic as a recruiter. Was fantastic, but this is it's feeling pretty good. You got to feel pretty good. 4-stars are good to get, and they can be developed even more. Or some 4-stars are even better than 5-stars. Yeah, listen, kid. There is such a thing as getting too invested into the star power, but a lot of these guys, they get there, right? Scrolling down here. A lot of bickering with the Kentucky, with Peanut Butter Posse. Talking about Kentucky's win. Yeah, I caught a little bit. I saw some of the highlights. Who the hell did y'all play? Was that Ramey Junior High? Who was that? Some of the comments on Twitter were oh boy. Listen, I'm not. People are counting. Some folks are counting Kentucky out. I think they're going to be pretty damn good. Honestly, I like that style. I like what they do. We know they've got a really good roster. I don't think it's as good as Arkansas's, but it's a really good roster. I like what they do. I would put them behind Arkansas. Surprisingly enough, I don't think either of these teams were that great at home last year. Bud Walton Arena and Rupp. I don't think that was what we expected at home, even though, it was just a disappointing year. I'm not I don't think anyone's bickering. Well, I mean, Cam, if you look at chat, there's a couple people there bickering. Arkansas football got a commit a couple days ago. Gavin Garrettson, 6'7", 245-pound edge rush guy. He is a 3-star. He was formerly committed to San Diego State. I mean, I don't know. He's part of the 2025 class. I don't know what it is I don't know. I just maybe there's something there. But this kind of feels like a let's fill in the gap with I thought they were done. I thought they were done with the 25 class. Clearly, they're still adding on. Kind of makes you wonder how they're going to manage the portal. They're going to have spots for sure. I'm not saying they won't. But Gavin Garrettson, he decommitted from San Diego State, committed to Arkansas, recruited by, according to 247, it was Morgan Turner. Which, I mean, okay. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with this 2025 class. I really don't. I know that the 26 class off to a pretty good start. And I think they could, if they could nail down some in-state guys. Again, there's some other prospects we may have to go over in the near future, guys that we've already talked about before, but like the 26 class could be pretty good for Arkansas. Still got a long ways to go. Still got to get through the 25, right? Still got to get through the early signing period and all that. See what they do in the portal. And, we'll cover that as it unfolds. I'm not bickering. I was just saying. Ken says, I feel like Cal will get 4 freshmen and then 2 vets from the portal. Mr. Kick says, Pope is a good coach. You seen what he did at his previous job. I think Kentucky will be a team that gets on fire, so keep the positive energy. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think they're going to be fine. I like his system is interesting. We'll see if it all connects. We'll see how well it meshes. A lot of folks didn't think Nate Oates would work out real well. And I mean, it's working. They're doing just fine. Did you guys see this? This is Blake Taylor on Twitter. He's sitting outside Bud Walton Arena. Man, they're ready to go. Old Blake Taylor, he's ready to go, son. He'll be sitting out there for a little while. Hope they bring him pizza. You think Cal will bring him pizza outside? Here you go. Grab yourself a slice. Don't joggle the balls. Don't joggle. Don't drop the pizza. You're not 26 years old by chance. Looks like some happy campers. Yeah, man. Got to be having a blast. Locked on Jayhawk says Hogs have big men. But can they shoot the three will be the question. Yeah, Perimeter offense is going to be interesting. He did bring pizza? Are you serious? Hey, Cal, where's it at, buddy? Did he really bring pizza? We got to find this. Hey, I appreciate the retweets, Austin and John. I see y'all. Hang on. Calipari. Hang on. John Calipari. Did he bring him pizza? Oh, gosh. I don't know. I'm not seeing it anywhere. You know how it is. I mean, there'd be pictures all over Twitter. I got a DM here. Ty breakout player no one talks about. Well, I don't know. I mean, again, like Boogie Flan, because he's a freshman. I like Boogie Flan. I like him a lot, dude. Let's see. Latest. I don't see anything about the pizza. Bring him the pizza, Coach Cal. T-Money says, Ty, I'm furious Pittman has not let the 29-year-old wide receiver shine in games. Mind-boggling. I mean, just because he's 29, right? I mean, he's still, and this is weird to say, he's still a freshman. And I mean that, like, this is his first year. It's his first year. He's been in the major leagues, right? It's his first year of college football. When Mason asked me what I thought his numbers were, looking back on it, I did see him get some action in fall camp. I did see him make some pretty good catches. He looked pretty consistent. But he's still learning things, right? He's got to get into that mindset, being a college athlete. Of course, his scholarship being paid for by, I guess his contract. I guess his money from the major leagues. I'm not really sure how that works out. Shared the pizza pic. Oh, did you? Oh, I couldn't find it. Hey, grab yourself a slice. Yep, there he is. Bob Holt. Cal visiting with students, 140 pizzas delivered. There you go. I can't put that up on screen. I see some of the players. Who is that handing the kid in the chair? Golly, dude. That makes me hungry for some pizza. Grab you a slice. Yeah. Well, yeah, I wouldn't put, when I said 30, and I knew as soon as I said that when he asked me, when Mason Choate asked me that, I think it was the last time I had him on, I thought about it. As soon as I said it, I was like, God, why did I say that? It's probably going to be more like 10 catches. I think he does have a catch, does he not? Maybe Cal will get his barber out. We'll get his barber out there to give Andy Griffith haircuts. Oh, my God. Hey, now. If Mississippi State's O-line is better than ours, that's going to be a huge red flag. Again, questions or comments, fire away. Let's get into it. Arkansas versus Mississippi State. Arkansas versus Mississippi State. Again, the Enemy Insider is up. Go read it. Go react to it, please. That way I know you've been there. But I'm going to say some of the stuff that's from there, as I always do, because that's kind of the point of it, right? You guys get access to it first, Patreon supporters. Will this be the Braylen Russell show versus Mississippi State? We know, and this is what Sam said. Of course, we know Jaquindon Jackson's questionable. And he more or less told Russell, like, hey, listen, this is your chance. He was asked, how did Braylen react during your meeting today? How often do you call guys in? Sam responds, you don't want to call a man so much that it doesn't mean anything. I don't know if I'm reading that wrong. You know what I mean? But this is one. Braylen has been a good player for us, but I want him to know that his opportunities are going to amp up. The expectation of what he gets. But I want him to know that his opportunities are going to go up, the expectation of what he gets. Well, some of these quotes. I wanted to throw some juice into him a little bit, juice him up, and get him ready to know this is going to be a big week for him. I meet with Talon Green every Wednesday. Other than that, Ashton, blah, 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 came in this morning. He never really had formally thanked me for the scholarship opportunity. I wonder if these quotes got mixed up because this is kind of not making sense. But anyways, we know that he talked with him. He was asked, did Braylen seem juiced up? And this is pretty funny. Pittman says he's a hard guy to get a read on, but I guarantee you he was pumped up. He's ready to roll. Let's give him the football. Let's give him a football. Let's see what happens. So, yeah, obviously Russell's going to get – I think he's going to end up with the bulk of the carries. Between him or Hill, I don't know about Dubinion just yet. And this is what I kind of have written up here. Russell's likely to see a bunch of carries versus this really bad, and I should say atrocious, Mississippi State run defense. Their defense overall is just not great. Would be a terrific confidence-boosting type of game for both the O-line and whoever gets carries. Because, again, Hill could be in the mix, Dubinion. Their run defense, they rank dead last in the SEC, 114th in the country, giving up close to 200 yards per game, 15 rushing scores given up so far in the year. Just run the ball. Watch and see what Russell could do. I might be wrong, but I think he's the future running back for Arkansas. He is the future. Let the kid eat this weekend. And then I go on to talk about Talon Green here. As for Talon Green, I stand by what I said on Monday's live show. This offense is far more effective when he's involved with the rushing aspect of the offense. He's gotten much sharper as a passer, yeah. But defenses don't lose sleep over his passing game. It's what opens things up for this offense when he's gashing your defense up for 8 to 15 yards of rush, or maybe he knocks off a 25, 30-yard run down the middle of your freaking defense. That's what keeps coordinators up at night. His arm has come around lately. Now put the whole damn thing together. This could be a wonderful approach if you're going to make changes, and we know there's stuff going on at that left guard spot. I feel like Kudus is going to end up getting the nod. I mean, I just feel like that's going to be the case here. I could be wrong, but I think that's what's going to happen. You're making some adjustments. You're making some changes. It feels like this is the week to do it because Mississippi State's defense, it is atrocious. They've got some players. They do. They got some boys. I should say boys. They got some men, I mean. They've got a 6'3", 240-pound this Brandon Jennings guy. He leads Mississippi State with something like, I think it's 6 hurries, 3 sacks. Coming from PFF. I think ESPN has him at like 1.5 sacks. He could be swift, grades out well on PFF. He could be a problem. You've definitely faced far worse front sixes this year, and you even had some success running the ball earlier on in the year. Like Mississippi State's front six, front seven, whatever they roll with up front, you should be able to run the ball down their throat. And again, get Green involved in the run game. That's what this offense does well. That's what keeps these coordinators up at night. Like I mentioned, let him be involved in the run game. They're going so far away from that. And I realize too, against Tennessee, he didn't really need his legs. Also, Tennessee had done a pretty good job of kind of containing him. LSU did the same thing. Of course, I think LSU, I have a feeling he was probably like they wanted him to sit back and throw. And then, honestly, he had a clean pocket quite a bit. I forgot what PFF said. I want to say it was north of 65% of the time he had a clean pocket. I mean, it was pretty good, at least just based off drop back throws. I may need to take another look at that, but that is a good sign. And this is not, I think Mississippi State on the year has something like 5 sacks. They're just not good. They're not good at all up front. We have seen teams get better as things move along. We have versus Arkansas. That always happens, right? Perfect timing. And with Arkansas, with all the changes up front on the offensive line, absolutely nothing would surprise me as far as pressure and sacks and all that. Nothing would surprise me. It wouldn't shock me to see Arkansas get sacked 5 times, or 0 times. But I don't know what to expect from that. From looking at it from just a pure clean pocket angle, but yeah, and again, maybe Tennessee, they didn't want him to run. They didn't want to further, any injuries or anything like that. I don't know. But his legs need to be involved. Please make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Get some folks in here. You can get into the Mississippi State and Arkansas for less than a slice of pizza. I really hope it's not going to be a bad game, says Mr. Kicks. To be truthfully honest, I like Braylen, but Pittman is setting the freshman to get blown up, says T Money. How so? What do you mean? Listen, what Braylen did versus Tennessee is he showed you that he is capable as a runner. I mean, at some point, you're going to have to get someone out there, and you're going to have to get someone rolling. And it's the run game has not been – I mean, listen, they're down to 4.6 yards a carry now. Jaquinton Jackson can't stay healthy. And, I mean, my God, the guy's got almost 600 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns. DeBinion, who still looks rusty to me, despite getting about 4.5 yards a carry, but he's only had the ball. He's only run the ball 9 times. Braylen Russell actually has the second most carries of any running back on this roster. Jaquinton has 104. He's got 27 carries for almost 5 yards a carry and 2 rushing touchdowns. At some point, it's baptism by fire, and this is a perfect opportunity against Mississippi State. They're just not great up front. Now, I'm not implying that he's even going to get the majority of the carries. I think Rodney Hill, who is healthy, who's honestly been a pretty damn good runner, I think he'll probably be involved as well. They might shut Braylen Russell down. I don't know. Sometimes he does look a little timid running the ball. Sometimes I kind of wonder about his vision, but he's 18 years old. He's got to figure it out, and he'll get better. But I do believe he's the future running back for Arkansas if he could stick around. But Rodney Hill has got 15 carries, 78 yards, 5 yards a carry, 5.2 yards a carry. His longest run from the line of scrimmage is 13. Braylen's is 24. And again, Rodney does have a touchdown. And I think DeBinion, as far as I know, I didn't hear DeBinion. I don't think he's expected to miss any time. He did have the fumble. That's for sure. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they do from an offensive standpoint versus Mississippi State. How well they match up. It should be in Arkansas's favor, 100%. Mississippi State, Blake Shapen out. No Shapen, no problem. Shapen, who on the year 74 out of 108 attempts. He was throwing 69% of his passes were completions. Shapen was honestly having a pretty productive year. 9 yards per completion, 8 touchdowns, just 1 pick. He was sacked 11 times. They've been sacked 22 times. So people are getting to these quarterbacks, and they are causing turnovers. These Shapen and Van Buren have both thrown at least 1 pick. Van Buren, who's the guy who's subbing in, boy, he likes the middle of the field. But he's got 6 touchdowns, two picks. If you're going to ask what is the difference, despite the fact that he's only completing like 56% of his throws? 50-something. 53.5% of his throws. Again, that's on more attempts than Shapen. That's 114 attempts so far. He's completed 61 of them. He does have a 6 touchdown to 2 interception ratio. He's throwing over the middle like crazy. From 0 to 9 yards, he's 18 of 29. He's completing these throws. To the right, he's completed from 0 to 9 yards. He's completed 9 of 12 for 59. And then 8 of 29 between the numbers for 173 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He's got 1 interception over the middle. He has thrown deep quite a bit too. 20 times? They've thrown with him 20 times through, I believe, 4 games. He's thrown the ball deep. So that's about 5 attempts downfield beyond 20 yards. But he likes the middle of the field. If you look at their numbers, if you watch film, I mean, that's where he's getting a lot of his yards, is right over the middle. So that'll be a very interesting test for those guys playing in that area. With a clean pocket, he's only completing about, again, 58% of his throws. And again, that's based on 89 dropbacks. Under pressure, of course, as you would expect, the number drops down to 42%. When he's blitzed, it drops down even more to 41%. He's actually thrown both of his picks with while not being blitzed, and one of them out of a clean pocket, and only the other time was under pressure. Out of play action, they run play action with him about 29% of his snaps. He's completing about 62% of his throws. He's only thrown screens 6 times. That's not a lot. But, yeah, out of play action, he's completing close to 62%. He's got 367 yards and 2 touchdowns. And, yeah, he grades out high on those throws 20 yards or more. Again, he grades out at 91.2. And then those medium throws, he grades out at 90.2 according to PFF. So this guy can deal. He can absolutely move the ball. He may not be super accurate. He might turn it over a little bit, but he can absolutely shred up a defense if you give him the opportunity. And we saw what LSU did. Now, he is not Nussmeier. Okay, Nussmeier is playing out of his mind. LSU just took whatever Arkansas gave him. And I'm so glad to hear Pittman talk about the hitch routes. But the hitch routes ate Arkansas up. Again, those kind of intermediate throws. This is what this guy does well. His intermediate throwing is pretty good. And Mississippi State has had some success, not just him, but the other guy as well. So it's also a by design thing, but with the quarterbacks, with the passing game, by design, they're gonna try and hit those intermediate throws. Again, he does have 20 attempts downfield, but a lot of his throws are coming off short to, again, that 9 to 19 yard range. He's throwing like 60% of his throws, or 55% of his throws are those short to intermediate throws. And he grades out well, at least on the medium, 10 to 19 yards. He grades out 90.2, where he's had 225 yards. So, yeah, I mean, the question is, what's the game plan here? That is absolutely the question. What is the game plan for this young quarterback? Is it going to be something similar where you're gonna blitz him from random parts of the field? Are they going to be super aggressive? Are they going to back off in coverage, change things up there, and only bring 3? And again, Mississippi State is a capable running offense, but they've not been great at it. Mississippi State has not been great at it. But again, so the question is going to be, how does Arkansas deal with what Mississippi State offers on offense? So running the football, again, we know they are capable. I wouldn't look too hard at their, when you see that 1-6, ignore that. I do think this is going to be a battle. I do think this is going to be a bit of a challenge. Johnny Daniels is their leading rusher, 69 carries, 312 yards, 4.5 yards a carry. And then Devon Booth is more likely to get the bulk of the carries. He's at 76 carries for 303 yards, 4 yards a carry. And then Kavion Lee, who I believe might have some – I don't know if he's available for this game. I could be wrong. But he's got 29 carries, 140 yards, almost 5 yards a carry, and a rushing touchdown. They have just 9 rushing touchdowns on the year, 14 passing touchdowns on the season as well. Kevin Coleman, we know in the passing game that dude is capable of being a problem. He's not off to the kind of year that I thought he would have, but he's still, 44 – what's he at? 44 catches, 536 yards, 4 touchdowns. So Coleman can be a problem. For sure, for Mississippi State. What do you know? They have a kicker. Kyle Ferry. This dude is he's 6 of 7, so he's 85%. He's 2 for 2, 40 to 49 yards. So we know they can probably kick the ball here. So again, if you guys are just joining, make sure you like, share, hit the subscribe button. Please share the content. Ty, does it show how many quarterback hurries Talon has? I don't have that up on my screen. He's been hurried quite a bit. I know that. Hang on. I just had so he's working with, again, when you talk about like a clean pocket on the year, they got him at 59% of his dropbacks. The number has come down a little bit. Like in a good way, I mean, as far as pressures. I don't know what his actual pressures are, but that's still not a good number. 59% is still not great. He's under pressure off 106 of those dropbacks. He's under pressure almost 41% of the time. That's, I mean, guys, that's almost every other snap. That's really bad. That's not good. That's a number that's got to drop. You'd love to see that number be closer to like 30%, maybe to 33, 34%, depending on, what kind of offense you're running and whatnot. But in this offense, that number's got to drop. He's not blitzed a lot this year. He's only been blitzed 36% of his snaps, but he's still only completing 48% of those throws. He's thrown 3 picks. He has shown with pressure he will turn the ball over. Green has. Somehow Mississippi State will look like a top SEC team against us. They haven't looked bad in some losses. They've hung around. They only lost to Georgia and A&M by 10 points. Hey, Aaron Powers, I see you, man. Enjoy watching stuff on ASN. Thanks for the work, guys. I think that was probably a compliment to them, to their high school coverage. They do a good job. They really do. I thought you were talking to me, Aaron. Man. Maybe he's including me in with ASN. Make sure you guys go like and follow ASN on Facebook. Man. Mississippi State's defense, what about their defense is shit? Everything. I mean, this team is bad. Third down defense, not just the worst in the SEC. They're bottom 5 in the country. They're 129th. Off 91 attempts, they've allowed 45 third down conversions through 7 games. That's almost 50%. That's terrible. That is not a good number. Anytime you're north of when you're north of 42, 40%, that's, you're just going to fall. I mean, that's page 3. That's bottom 5 in college football, guys. Arkansas is one of the top third down offenses in the country still. Now, I think that's going to slowly drop, but this week it shouldn't. That's going to be the key. Third down. Win those battles against these guys. They are awful on third down defense. That's not 5 games. That's 7 games. Not that it makes a big difference there. 2 games, you're splitting hairs. Red zone defense. They're horrible. They rank 91st. And again, they're 129th in third down defense. Red zone defense, they're 91st. Teams are scoring 87% of the time, and it's not field goals. They've only held opponents to 4 field goals. Everything else has been touchdowns. 14 rushing touchdowns, 9 passing touchdowns. There is no reason. I mean, cowbells suck. I get it. That's horse crap that those things are even allowed. They shouldn't be. They ought to be banned. It is insane to me that they get to use those cowbells. You take those cowbells out, they don't have much of a home field advantage. I think they're one of the worst home field teams in football without those damn cowbells. But even still, they have not been good in the red zone. Horrible. Arkansas scoring 17 points a game in SEC play. They will exceed that this week, or they better. Again, something that I brought up with Courtney yesterday. Bobby Petrino's offense so far. Bobby's offense through 4 SEC games, averaging 17 points per game. Dan Enos last year, remember when he got fired? Through 4 games, heading into the Mississippi State game, was averaging 24 points. I mean, I'm not calling for Petrino to be fired. I'm just saying, and I realized they had more L's stacked up, and somebody had to be let go. Someone had to, fall on the sword, whatever, and it was Enos. But Bobby's offense is worse from a scoring standpoint. That's all that matters. I wouldn't care if you're getting 100, 200 yards of offense a game as long as you're scoring 34, 35 points a game. At least being competitive. The defense has, once again, had to kind of carry this team. Now, Tennessee, it was kind of a joint effort because Arkansas dominated the time of possession, but this is just inexcusable. This is bad. If you cannot, I think Mississippi State gives up, 30 points a game or whatever. It's bad. They're not good. Total yards, total defense is not good. You ought to be able to walk up and down the field on these guys. Arkansas just hasn't been able to do that. Now, we also have to discuss, first off, what happens if they lay another egg against Mississippi State and they lose this game? Is someone else going to have to fall on the sword? Is someone else going to have to get fired? There are a lot of questions about what happens if you lose this game. Yeah, their run defense, 115th in the country, giving up 192 yards a game on the ground. There's just no excuse. I don't even want to hear that you're playing at Mississippi State. I don't care. Dude, they're bad. Now, they have hung around. But I'm saying from an offensive standpoint, you should be able to move the football. I think their offense is good enough. They're going to hang around. I do. I don't, I'm not saying that they're going to win it or whatever, but there just can't be any excuses here. And that is the other part. Have I been talking this whole time with that? That's been up the whole time and no one brought it up to me. Thanks for looking out, guys. I had that Twitter post up the whole time. I don't look at my OBS screen that often. All I can see is my connectivity. I don't look at anything else but my notes and my connectivity through OBS. I had no idea that was on the screen. But again, there's no reason why Arkansas can't find success on offense against Mississippi State. So again, the question is, if you lose this game, and Courtney and I have talked about it. We've talked about this a little bit this week. It's obviously been an ongoing conversation in Discord. What are the odds that Sam keeps his job if you were to lose to Mississippi State? Like, what are the odds that you go on and he wins enough to keep his job? It's not real high. Louisiana Tech feels like the only for sure game. So the pressure's on, and there's no doubt about it. The pressure's on. They have to win this game. Now, because of all the things I just mentioned, how bad Mississippi State is, I do admit, yeah, they're playing better. Mississippi State is playing good enough. They're hanging around teams like A&M and Georgia who are at the top of this conference. Arkansas is not, and you got to go on the road there. There are people that are picking this as an upset. I'm not one of them. Now, again, this was another game the last several days. I've changed my mind every day, every single day. Now, I don't know, like I'm not doing well on my predictions. That's for sure. When it comes to Arkansas, I'm not doing well, as it was pointed out today in Discord. But there should be no reason, like you are better than Mississippi State, despite the fact that Mississippi State's been playing better lately. But if you lose this game, I mean, that's it. I think Sam, I don't think there's any way he comes back unless he shocks the world and beats Ole Miss, beats Texas, which the way this team is played, and again, like it's been mentioned before, it depends on what team shows up. But I think eventually we just have to settle on the fact that sometimes you are just who you are. And sometimes you got to trust your gut instinct. And what happened against University of Alabama, Birmingham, what happened in the second half against Oklahoma State, how you barely beat a really bad Auburn team, despite the fact there are some very interesting numbers that are coming out about them. Like, how are they as bad as they are when they've done some things actually pretty well on both sides of the ball, but whatever, they're losing games. Arkansas did play one of their worst games of the year. I would argue LSU was their worst game of the year. But Auburn, they played one of their worst games of the year, and they did find a way to win that game by 10 points. They did beat Tennessee. However, I think that had a lot more to do with the game planning of a young quarterback against a young quarterback. I think that's probably what, they got exposed a little bit. Yeah, you lose this, I don't know, man. It kind of feels like all bets are off. Like I don't see how he returns. So yeah, I do like Arkansas in this one. I have no idea what the score is going to be. I almost just don't even want to put a pick. But yeah. So I appreciate everyone for stopping by and watching. If you're watching this on Friday or later on Thursday night, please feel free to leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. Shout out to ASN Facebook. And, so that'll do it. I will see you guys. I'll be back for probably the postgame tomorrow night. Looking forward to it, and I'll see you then.